Hello and welcome to today's Brain Meet Body class. This is called Hip Hip Hooray. So hips, so much to say about the hips. First and foremost, the things that the hips do are they can internally rotate, they can externally rotate, they can extend behind us, they can flex our leg forward, they can adduct, mean draw in, they can abduct, mean draw out, and they can circumduct, which means the whole shebang together. So we're going to try and get all of that into our hips with, of course, integrity and control and strength in our core as we do so. So today for class, you'll need your brain, your body, your mat, a block or a block-like substitute, and potentially a blanket if you want that under your knees for a little extra cushion or under your head when we're on the floor. So with that being said, we're going to come onto our backs, have the block handy within arm's reach. Come on down. Take a moment here to come into your body, into your space on your mat, taking a breath in and feeling the ribs expand in every direction. And maybe opening your mouth and letting it out. And then reaching for your block, having your feet about a hips width distance, feeling the connection of the tripod, the base of your feet, the big ball mound, pinky ball mound, and heel pressing down to push into and lift the hips off the floor to slide the block either the lowest or medium setted underneath your sacrum at the base of your spine. Okay, so right above your tailbone, you want most of the butt flesh hanging off of the block. And then bring the hands to the front of the pelvis, to those hip points in the front. And then lift your right knee above the hip and set it down. Lift your left knee and set it down. So just starting to feel when your knee is lifting, your hip is flexing. And when the foot is down, there's a little bit of extension. So feeling this and feeling how you have to engage your glutes to keep your pelvis from wobbling. So while you do have the support of the block underneath you, ideally most of the weight is still in your legs and you're using the block to give you a little feedback to keep your pelvis level and neutral. Okay, so now press into both of your feet enough that you can slide the block away, return the hands to your hip points, let the feet come a little closer together, so a little more centered. Press into the left foot and without letting your right hip point drop, lift your right knee above the hip. And now here we'll externally rotate this thigh by letting the shin come across your left leg and then back to center. Externally rotating and back to center. One more time, feel that left glute really working. Externally rotate, back to center. Set the foot down. Reorient yourself and your bridge, engaging around your sit bones, getting those stabilizing glute muscles working. And then let your right foot press down more. Lift your left knee above the left hip. And here we go. Let the foot and calf drift more over your right leg and then back to center. Externally rotating the thigh, back to center. Feeling this in the deep nethers of your hip. And then set that left foot down. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, use the control of your core to slowly lower you down. Once you're here, we'll get a little stretch of the wrists. So just feeling the weight in your sacrum, in your shoulder blades, and in your skull, that triple S, allowing for the neutral arc of your low back and neck off the floor. Take your arms straight up, flex at your wrists. Take your left hand to the right fingers and pull those forefingers towards your face. Breathe. Let it out your mouth. And then switch, opening up into this hand, wrist, forearm. If you work at computers, if you are a human and do things with your hands like all of us do, this is something you should do regularly. Stretch those wrists out. Okay, now we're taking it up into the core a little bit more. Hands come to cup behind the skull. Elbows draw in so they're pointing towards the sky or the ceiling. Take a breath in. And then exhale, pull the ribs down, lift from the chest, lift the shoulders off the mat. Feel everything consolidating in and down. Look at your low belly. If it's pooching towards the ceiling, use that exhale to pull it in and down. Inhale and lower. Exhale, lift, Pulling everything in and down, supporting the weight of your head with the hands. Inhale and lower. Adding on a little bit, exhale. Use the breath to pull in and down. Hold the breath out as you're lifted, and then take a little twist to the left. Come back to center with control. Inhale and lower. Exhale, pull in and down. Lift. Turn a little bit to the right. Staying off the right shoulder blade. Come back to center. Inhale and lower. Adding on a little bit. Exhale, lift. Pull in and down. Feel the weight still in your sacrum. Turn a little bit to the left, and then let your left leg extend. Keeping the weight equal on the left and right side of your sacrum. Put the foot down, hands behind the head. No, they're already there. Back to center. Inhale, lower. Exhale and lift. Take your little turn to the right and then extend the right knee. You can flex the toes towards the face a little bit. Stay off the right shoulder blade. Foot down, back to center. Inhale, lower. Exhale and lift. Letting the heat build from the inside. Left leg extends. Take your little twist to the left. Now, flex the foot. Let the left toes roll to the left. So the whole leg is rolling. Bring it back to center. Roll it to the left. Back to center. Roll the whole thigh. Toes point to the left and then come back to center. Foot down. Back to neutral. Inhale, lower. Exhale and lift. Keeping the weight in the sacrum, the right knee extends. Take a little twist to the right, and then let the toes roll to the right and back to center. Nothing else changes. Roll to the right. Stay off the right shoulder blade. Back to center. Last one. Roll to the right and back to center. Foot down. Inhale and lower. Nice work. Okay, come on up to your hands and knees for quadruped. We have warmed up and primed those deep core stabilizing muscles. We're ready to move in a bigger way. So come onto your hands and knees here. Get the heels of your hands right underneath your shoulders and the knees right underneath or a little forward of your hips. Think about the back of the skull, the shoulder blades, and the sacrum lining up together. Feel that control and contraction around the front body to keep that. And then now, without letting the belly drop at all, start to lift your right knee behind you, keeping the knee bent. So this is extending the right hip. As we lift the foot towards the sky or ceiling, notice if that whole pelvis wants to lift open, resist it. So just from the right glute, the foot comes back, and then bring the knee underneath you again, just to hover where it was. And then like a fire hydrant, take the right knee straight out to the right. Like a doggy on a fire hydrant. Bring it back to center, and then send it back in extension. Bring it back underneath you, keeping this zip up of the low belly. Take it out to the right. External rotation. Bring it back underneath you. Keep spreading the mat from left to right. Stay strong in your shoulders. Take it back. Keep thinking about that triple S. Bring it underneath you and take it out to the right. Ooh, yes. Keep that core on. Put the right knee down. And now we'll go into the other side. So get yourself lined up again. It matters every time. Keep a little hug around the belly, around the front ribs, and then take your left foot back towards the ceiling. Put your brain in your left glute. Fire it up. Feel how that is extending the hip. And then bring it back underneath you and take it out to the left. Draw a line with your left knee straight out to the left, any amount for you. Bring it back underneath you. Send it back, extension, breathing, exhaling. Send it out to the side, external rotation. Ooh, yes. Send it back, and notice one side might feel quite different than the other. Bring it underneath you. Last time, out to the left. And that's just something to build your own internal awareness. No judgments, of course. Left knee down. Okay, push the floor away through your hands. Lift the knees. Push your hips back and up for your first downward facing dog. Take a breath in to all sides of your ribs. And out your mouth. Let your head get a little shake. And then get the feet a little closer together. Take your right leg back and up, hip height. Bend the knee. Now we're going to take a full circumduction with the hip. So bring the knee in. It's flexing. Take it out to the side. It's externally rotating. And then out and around. It's internally rotating for a moment, all the way back. So just drawing a circle with your right knee. In, out, back, and around. And then go the other direction and meet this with the contraction around your left hip, drawing your outer left hip in so that the pelvis isn't moving and lifting. It's just in the hip socket. And then set your right foot down. Keep pushing the floor away through your hands. Lift your left leg up just to hip level. Bend the knee. Bring it in towards the chest. Take it out, back, and around. Getting this active mobility, active opening, building strength as we do so. Relax the back of your neck. Keep those arms integrating into the side body and then switch. Make the circle the other way 2 or 3 times. And then put that foot down and walk your hands back to your feet. Sit back into your butt for a moment and then inhale, reach forward and then up. Reach up. Exhale, hands down through your heart. Put one hand onto your chest and the other on top. And just take a moment here with the beats beneath your palms. Just being in your body. And then take your arms to your sides. Let's move a little bit bigger. Walk to the top of your mat. Get your feet right underneath your hips. Feel the weight spread equally throughout your feet. And inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, sit back into the hinges of your hips. Let the fingertips lightly land so you can step your right foot back, lower the right knee and the top of the right foot. Come on up for this 90-90 low lunge. Feel your right glute turning on. And then roll your shoulders one at a time, up, back, and down your back ribs. You can let your head get a little involved as well. But keep your base, your pelvis, your legs nice and firm. And then bring the hands forward. Slide this front foot to the back. Get your hands underneath your shoulders. Draw into your triple S, the skull, the shoulder blades, and the sacrum. Engage your core. And then resist the floor, lower down. Untuck your toes, press your pelvis into the floor, feel the little pickup around your belly, and then inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to come down. Tuck your toes, get firm, push the ground away, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. And then step your right foot forward, lower the left knee and the top of the left foot, and come on up for your 90-90 low lunge here. Roll your shoulders. Yes, getting some nice freedom, some mobility around the ribs. So good. And then bring the hands forward and down. Step the back foot to the front. Sit back into your butt. Inhale, reach forward and up. We're going to go right back into it. Exhale, hinge. Sit back and down. The left foot steps back. Lower the left knee again, but not the toes. Come on up for your low lunge. Reach forward. Feel your shoulder blades start to slide away, and then reach up without pushing your ribs forward. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, let your left hand come down either to the floor or a block. If the floor feels far away, push the floor away through this left hand. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So right now we've got this front hip in a good amount of flexion. Draw the belly into the low back. We're going to take this into a side opener and a nice hip mobility work. So let this front foot walk itself back a little bit so it's pointing out to the side, and then take your right arm over your cheek so you're getting this big side opening on the right side. And then bring your right hand down. Now you can use 2 blocks here, or you can just remove the block if you're using it. You're going to set the right hand down and the right knee. And we're just switching sides. So lean into that right hand and the right knee, and then step the left foot off to the side. Keep pushing the floor away through this bottom arm, and left arm comes and gives a nice sweep over the cheek, palm facing down, so you can really get into the hip and side body. Left hand, left knee down. We're just going to go one more to each side. Lean into the left hand and left knee. Swim, front stroke this right arm. You stepped the right foot off to the right. Oh yes, and then one more time. Left foot, left hand, big switch. Good, and then both knees come down. Left knee down, left hand down. Set the right leg back. This is what we did in our reset a little bit ago. Draw the belly in, draw the front ribs in, send the right leg back in extension, bring it underneath you, send it out in external rotation. Bring this right knee again underneath you, kickstand the right foot off to the right, lean into the right hand and right knee, modified side plank this time. So this left leg stays lifted in the air towards the back of the mat. Hips are working here, doing so much to hold actively and get this opening, this mobility. Now we're gonna step this lifted foot all the way back towards the top of the mat and turn 180 degrees. Working our brain with this direction stuff as well, so good. So coming up into goddess, fingers come into your hip creases. Look at your knees and toes, they're going in the same line. So adjust your feet if you need. Root the tailbone down, feel a lot of control around your pelvis, and then lift the right heel, roll this right leg in, and then back out, lower the heel. Lift the left heel, roll this leg in and back out, set it down. So going side to side, lift the heel, roll it in, roll it out. So good getting this deep mobility, setting the heel down, lifting, ooh, yes, and lowering, lifting, ooh, and lowering, good. And then we're gonna just pivot back to the front of the mat. Hands will plant and we'll step ourselves back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. And at the end of your exhale, step your left foot forward, lower your right knee and come on up, reaching your arms forward and then up. Take a breath here. And then exhale, right hand comes either to a block or the floor underneath the shoulder. Lean into that hand, reach the left arm up. Now we turn this into a little swimmer by heel toeing this left foot back a little bit, pointing out to the side, feeling that nice external rotation on your left hip, reaching the left arm up and over your cheek. Breathe into the left ribs. And then swim this a couple times. So left hand comes down, left knee comes down. Right foot steps off to the right. Lean into the left hand and left knee. Swim the right arm. All the way up and over. Good. Use your core to transition you from side to side. Right hand, right knee down. Lean into it. Reach up and over. And then left hand, left knee down. Step right foot. Lean into it. Up and over. One more time. To this side. Left arm. And then left hand and left knee will come down. We'll kickstand the left foot off the left long edge of the mat. Lean into the left hand and left knee. That knee is right underneath the hip, not behind the hip, right underneath. And then lift the right leg and right arm for modified side plank. You can always keep your foot down, or you can have it lifted, but working these hips in this dynamic range of motion, feeling your strength, and then letting this back foot step all the way back to the top of the mat for your goddess pose. And then here, we're gonna do what we did earlier, but we're gonna switch it up just a little bit, make it a little more active. So basically it's like a softball pitch. You're gonna turn to the front of the mat and your right arm will swing forward. You'll come back through goddess. You'll turn to the back and your left arm will swing towards the back. So our hips are doing what we did a minute ago, but they're just getting a little bit more fluidity, a little bit more movement in them. And maybe it's a little fun even, I don't know. Breathing. Being grateful that you can move in your body. And the next time that you're towards the top of your mat, bring both hands down and step the back foot in, sit your butt down, and come on to your back. We'll take just a quick moment in a figure four across your left ankle over your right thigh. Stay right here for a little passive opening for a moment, or pick up your right foot, maybe interlace your hands behind that right leg, but keep at least the top of your sacrum on the ground. Use that left elbow as leverage if it connects to your left thigh to push it away. Take a breath in and let it out your mouth. Set your right foot down, set your left foot down. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Stay right here for a little passive opening, or pick up your left foot. Maybe interlace the hands behind the left thigh. Gently draw it in, but keep part of that sacrum on the ground. Good. Left foot down, right foot down. Take up space with your body, move into your Shavasana. The most important part of class is letting your body assimilate your effort with nowhere to go. So feel yourself supported. Feel one last time that sacrum, shoulder blades, and skull rooting down. Take a nice big breath in. And open your mouth, let it go. Thank your hips for all the ways that they move you through life in every direction. Thank your whole body for carrying you through every day. Thank you for letting me guide you through your practice today. I hope it serves you well. Namaste.